Rockford's home for Classic Rock 96.7 The Eagle. Good morning, I'm Double T. And one of my favorite places to go here at Rockford is the Discovery Center Museum. And joining me, marketing director Anne-Marie Walker. Anne-Marie, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. And first of all, thank you so much for letting myself and a couple other people here at the station stop out and check out the new Hot Wheels exhibit, Race to Win. Let's talk about that. What made you guys decide to do a Hot Wheels exhibit?
Well, we always talk about how there's science and everything, and we're always trying to get kids kind of interested in science and pointing out that there's science and everything. And I tell you what, racing is packed with science, whether it's physics or motion or power, safety, all the things with safety in racing relate to science. So just trying to kind of, again, find ways for kids to have fun and learn at the same time.
See, I always appreciated that when my daughter was young because it's a fun place. Kids love going to the Discovery Center, but then you sneak in that learning at the same time. It's pretty sneaky.
It is, and I tell you what, that it works for adults too.
Yeah, it does. Well, let's talk about this exhibit. First of all, how long is the exhibit going to be in Rockford?
It'll be here through May 16.
Okay, and then if somebody goes to the Discovery Center, what is it part of the admission? Is it an extra admission? How does that work out?
Sure. Well, it's an extra admission. It's an extra $2 a person. But if you're a member, it's free. And if you've got kids ages 1 and younger, it's also free.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a great deal for everything that's going on. And let's talk a little bit about what happens at the exhibit. And first of all, the one thing that really stuck in my head is, you talked about racing, and if people are a fan of racing and always wanted to try to be in the pit crew, you have an area where you can do pit crew stuff.
Yeah, our pit stop challenge. So it's like a full-size car replica, and kids can go in, they can set the timer, they have to change the tires, they have to fill the gas tank, and then they hear all the actual sounds that go on when you're doing that as far as the pit crew. And then that it clocks their time, and then they can kind of race against other teams or other families. And yeah, that is, I think, the highlight of the exhibit right there for kids and grown-ups. You see the adults really booking it, trying to get down there.
It looks easier than it is, too. It looks easy on TV. Oh, they're just changing the tire, but when you actually have to do it yourself, right?
I know. You're right about that.
And then, of course, you got, the main thing about Hot Wheels is having the actual car Hot Wheels, and you guys have literally hundreds of them on display. We do. And that actually, it wasn't part of the exhibit. That was one of our staff who had his own personal collection that he had been doing since he was a kid. And when he heard we had this exhibit coming, he said, to us, hey, I've got all these cars, and if you'd like, I could make some cases and put them on display for everybody to enjoy. And so that's exactly what he's done. So we've got several hundred cars that are on display. So before you even get into the exhibit, you're walking through and you're seeing all these cars. And it's fun because you see grandparents and parents even stopping and looking at the cars. It's pointing out what they had or what they played with or what they bought their child. And so that's just a really fun way to even, before you even get into the exhibit. And then, of course, you got to be able to play with the cars, and you guys, you hand out cars for people to use, right?
We do. So, again, one of those COVID kind of health safety strategies, instead of just having a big old bin of cars for kids to choose from, we actually sterilize all the cars, we put them in plastic bags, and then when the kids come into the exhibit, each kid gets a baggie with cars that they play with, and those are kind of their cars while they're in the exhibit. And then when they're done, we've got a big blue bin. They'll just drop the cars in there, and then we sanitize those and get those ready for the next kids.
Yeah, and you have tracks where the kids could race each other, or they can, spin around a turn or jump the cars. So there's plenty of action when it comes to that. I'm talking to Anne-Marie from the Discovery Center. We're talking the Hot Wheels exhibit. What else is available in the exhibit for Hot Wheels for the kids and families to check out?
Well, like you said, we've got multiple different tracks. So you've got a 6-speed speed track. You've got another one where you can adjust the height of the jumps and try to jump the cars. You've got another one that kind of hinges more on safety, where you're supposed to try to avoid each other when you make the jump. But what we found, and what I even saw with you and your friends, was that you're trying to crash the cars into each other. See if you can get that timing right. But yeah, there's other things to do too. There's simulators. There's one where the kids can drive, and they've got a giant screen, and it looks like they're actually on a real racetrack. So that's real fun for the real young kids to kind of pretend that they're racing. Other kind of tires to change. So just lots of other things to do, and lots of science information too. Like I was saying about kind of all the science that goes behind whether it's designing the cars, whether it's designing tires and the different kinds of tires that different race cars have, all the different things that they do for safety in race cars, and then lots of memorabilia and actual race car parts for people to look at as well. So really something for everybody.
And what I really like about the Discovery Center, too, is that not only are you learning and be able to read the things, but so much interactive things for the kids to keep them involved.
Absolutely. I mean, that's really key to us. When we're looking at any, temporary exhibit to bring in, to rent for a certain amount of time, that's really what we're looking at is what is there that's interactive for people to do. I mean, certainly we want kind of the science facts and things to go along with it, but what we really are looking for is what would be interesting to kids, what could they do, how long might they stay in the exhibit, and is there something kind of for multiple ages, for the real little ones, or, maybe a preschool age, and then maybe somebody who's more like, 9 or 10 or 11 years old or something. So we really want something that a whole family can come and all the kids can enjoy at the same time. Because that's a trick for parents, is finding when you've got kids of multiple ages, trying to find something that everybody likes is hard.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point. And, of course, when it comes to Hot Wheels, I think a lot of parents love Hot Wheels, too.
Absolutely. You got that whole nostalgia. I think Hot Wheels started around 1968. They came out with their first cars. So they've been around for a long time. And so, yeah, that's why it's fun to see the parents and even grandparents kind of looking back and telling stories and remembering things. So
I'm talking to Anne-Marie from the Discovery Center, the Hot Wheels exhibit going on now. And, of course, you guys got so many other things. You could spend a whole day at the Discovery Center. What else should people check out when they're going to the Discovery Center?
Sure. Well, if you've never been before, we've kind of got the museum divided up into galleries with different topics. So there's a whole area on agriculture with cows you can milk, with a real tractor you can climb inside. We've got a bubble play area where you can make giant bubbles and put yourself in a bubble. We've got a math area that believe it or not, makes math fun. We've got the human body area. We've got a special place just for kids 6 and younger called our Tot Spot. And when the weather's warmer, we've got a fantastic outdoor park. But the thing that folks need to keep in mind right now with COVID restrictions is that folks need to make online reservations. So they have to go to our website and make an advanced reservation. They can, pick a day, see how many spots are left, and then make the reservation straight from our website.
That's great. And what's the website?
It is discoverycentermuseum.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Anne-Marie. It was great coming down to visit the Discovery Center, and I think folks will like the Hot Wheels exhibit and everything else going on if they make their way down there soon. All right, great. Well, and hey, you know what? You can come back and play anytime. I definitely will. It's Rockford's home for Classic Rock 96.7 The Eagle.